Hey everyone, what is going on? I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and today I want to talk about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening in the sign of Taurus. So the exact conjunction is going to be happening at 21 degrees of Taurus on April 20th or 21st, depending on where you live. Now, the thing is, majority of you, I'm sure, have already been feeling this energy. However, given that we've been having the eclipses and Mercury's retrograde, it might just feel like a lot of stress or overwhelm or change happening all at once. So we're going to pinpoint this exact energy so you can reflect and see how it's manifesting on your end. So if we're talking about Jupiter, this can be the equivalent of Zeus, right? So there is this wisdom, this knowledge, this generosity, this luck. It can be also representative of expansion. So expansion of knowledge, expansion of power, expansion of wealth, expansion of love. Wherever Jupiter is beside or what it is aspecting is going to bring out some kind of amplification, right? So Uranus is going to be talking about rapid change, innovation, revolution, these brilliant ideas. And I think it's interesting that these transits are happening at the same time, right? The eclipses, Mercury's retrograde, this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which only happens once every 14 years. This energy of Jupiter and Uranus together is going to cause some type of shift, even if you don't have any placements in the sign of Taurus, because you're going to have a house in your natal chart ruled by Taurus. So this can be suddenly waking up one day and feeling like you want to completely change a certain aspect of your life, whether it's home, whether it's appearance, whether it's job, whether it's just one random belief or idea. Like, you know what? I really don't like the way that I'm going about my day-to-day routine. I want to switch things up. I want to start making other things a priority in my life. These things are no longer serving me. I don't actually want to keep ongoing these certain relationships or obligations. All I've actually wanted to do is this. Because with that same energy of Mercury retrograde, there's likely something that you've always wanted to do or has always been a part of your soul's destiny that is probably going to be screaming in the background for you to do. And I don't want you to think of it as I've been doing this for so long, so I have to change it. Or I've been doing this for so long, I have to continually maintain it. A lot of times with astrology, it's very loud and very obvious. So let's give a couple of examples in terms of pop culture and even in my own personal life. So we all know that I love the movie Legally Blonde. And it is that energy of Elle getting her heart broken, something really rapid and unexpected. And then her having this brilliant plan of going to Harvard, moving across the country to pursue a love, to pursue something that she's so passionate about. There we have Jupiter in terms of the higher knowledge, going to Harvard, and Uranus, like quick, unexpected. Her family, her friends, her community are like, what are you doing? This is so sudden. Why are you doing this? But for her, it made sense. For her, she knew that she had to do this. And so for some of you, it might be, I've always wanted to take that trip. I've always wanted to enroll in this type of program. I've always wanted to study under this teacher or guru. I'm going to buy that course. I'm going to buy that book. I'm going to binge this podcast and really take in this higher knowledge. Now, if some of you are fans of RuPaul's Drag Race, not the finale that just happened, but the week ago, we had the lip sync Lollapalooza. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen that episode yet. However, Megami is a drag queen who has a Taurus sun, Scorpio moon, and Sagittarius rising. And so, given that Megami is a Sagittarius rising, it means that Jupiter is her chart ruler. That episode, she did very, very well. She impressed people all over the world. And on her Twitter/X profile, she listed like her Venmo, her Cash App, her PayPal, so people could send her tips because all the fans were asking for it because she did such a phenomenal job. And then she posted last week that she paid off all of her debt that she got into investing into her package for Drag Race. So there we can see this unexpected wealth, this unexpected generosity from everyone directly affecting this beautiful individual who has Jupiter as their chart ruler and is a Taurus sun. So there we get a bit more nuanced where we can see the specificity. So if you are a Sagittarius rising, if you are a Pisces rising, this is going to be so much more direct for you because Jupiter is your chart ruler. Now, we can also look at it because Megami has a Taurus sun. So with that Taurus sun energy, the sun is going to be co-present and has been co-present Jupiter and Uranus ever since end of May of 2023. But now we're seeing this exact conjunction. So if you do have dominant Taurus energy in and around 21 degrees, or any of the fixed signs, we're talking about Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, in and around 21 degrees, depending on your school or training when it comes to orbs and aspects, some astrologers will say the exact degree, some will give it a 3-degree orb, some will just say if it's in that sign or in that house in general, just by aspect, it'll be activated. What I always say is that the closer you have any placements to that degree, you're going to feel it more and more strongly. So let's say you have Mars in Leo at 20 degrees. Yes, you're going to feel it very, very strongly because that's a 1-degree orb. It's going to be very loud. It's going to be very precise. That could be in terms of Mars natally in your chart, directly aspecting by square this Jupiter-Uranus aspect. This could be something that you're really passionate about, something that gives you so much fire, something that you want to fight for, something you want to defend more. Maybe there's something that is just within your grasp. You really have to train, you really have to study, you have to be really motivated to go after this, or maybe you're putting in a lot of work for a really big payout. That could be something where Mars is getting fueled, especially Mars in Leo, or if we're using this example, something that's big part of your integral, like your heart, your passion, maybe something to do with your family as well, depending on where it sits in your chart, right? So don't just look at if you have any Taurus placements or not. Look at your entire natal chart to see if you have any planets or angles in the fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. And the closer any of those planets or placements are to 21 degrees, you will be seeing it that much more. And the last example I'll give is a personal example because I don't have any placements in Taurus, but Taurus rules my 5th whole sign house. The 5th house speaks to creativity, romance, sex, sexuality, children, adventure, and sport. And right when I was leaving Vancouver, before I moved back here to Toronto, I was going on some dates. And it was interesting for me after being in Vancouver for a year, not really dating a lot in the past 6 months. I was like, oh, interesting. Like what I once maybe judged or labeled as good or bad is completely different. And I'm wanting so many different things that maybe I wouldn't have made a priority in the past. It just became so much more clear, like literally a lightning bolt, especially right before I moved. I'm like, oh, yes, this is Jupiter and Uranus, because the energy of Uranus can feel like a lightning bolt where it's like so clear, so fast, so unexpected. And so even though I don't have any natal placements in Taurus, it was just very, very loud in that part of my chart. So for all of us, you can look to the house that is ruled by Taurus, as I mentioned previously, to see what's going on there, to pinpoint where this sudden, expansive, revolutionary energy is happening for you. And we can also just pull up the chart here for you to see it in action here. So the exact moment that this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is going to be happening, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we can see here that we're already in Taurus season. So the sun is going to be co-present this, which I believe is just going to make it that much more clear, maybe shed light on this energy. And remember, Jupiter really has to do a lot with higher wisdom, higher knowledge, your belief system, what is going to expand your mind. And we're here with Mercury retrograde with this close separating conjunction with Venus. So for some of you, this might have to do with love, relationships, self-worth, identity, all the things that we've been going through with these eclipses, right? Because this is a Jupiter sign ruled by Venus, given that Venus is a ruling planet of Taurus. So for some, it can really just be what you love, how you love, where you want to love. If there are certain places, like even if the city and the home is not conducive for you to feel expansive, to feel innovative, then that is something that you're going to want to address because there is this link to Venus. We also have Venus here conjunct Chiron. So we're going a bit more deep with this conjunction, maybe dissecting it a little bit more, but where are there fears around you having whatever you want, you loving whomever you want, receiving love in the way that you desire? There might be new ideas, new downloads, and some of this can be as quote unquote random, you being like, I've always wanted to learn Greek, or I've always wanted to learn Italian. And that can seem really random, but there's this ping in the back of your mind being like, I really want to learn that language. And who knows, perhaps in 6 months, a year from now, you meet the love of your life and they speak that language as well. So now not only have you gained all this beautiful wisdom and knowledge and dedication to something that's really going to enrich your life, now you get to communicate with this love of your life and their family and their friends in this language and gets to keep growing. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times when we have these conjunctions on social media, online, people can really amp them up as being once in a lifetime, revolutionary. They're going to change your life. And yes, it can all do those things. Like I gave the example with Megami, it was like this overnight massive wealth that came in. But it can also be more nuanced in the sense of what you're taking in right now, what you have been taking on for the past 3 weeks, the past 4 weeks with these eclipses. Even if we just cycle this back to the beginning of Aries season, we can see that this Jupiter-Uranus was in a 5-degree orb. And then we get to the like end of March, beginning of April, is in with a 3-degree orb. So that's what I'm saying. Many of you may have already been feeling this energy, but it was also in the same energy of the eclipses and then of Mercury retrograde. So that's why if we can take time to slow down over the weekend to feel into what are you being called to expand upon? Where are you being called to break out of the box? Where are you being called to be more generous, intelligent, true to yourself? And don't forget this Venus energy as well, given this is a Jupiter sign ruled by Venus and it's coming off that conjunction with Mercury and it's making that conjunction to Chiron. If there's a part of you that needs more work in terms of healing your self-worth, affirming an identity, that is going to be a link or a missing piece that maybe is waiting for you to fully envelop this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Because we can also see with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, it's making that applied sextile to Mars and then a wide applying sextile to Uranus. So for some of you, this can be really being called upon you to work on your dreams, to work on your motivation, to work on your I wanted to say overwhelming belief system, but this can also be for some like the belief in there's something more, the belief in that there are greater powers that being that are here to support you with Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune and Mars kind of all at play. It's getting very, very clear on where you want to direct your energy and anything that's not aligned, any relationships, any past beliefs, any past identities that aren't serving where you are and where you know you're meant to go, that deep soul calling. This is a time to reevaluate and adjudicate and really reflect on all of these things because, like I said, it's more than likely you've already been feeling this and it's more than likely you're already acting upon it. And so the more clear you can get on that and the more permission you can give yourself to go all in, the better. All right. Boom. So that is my general synopsis of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Let me know if you're already feeling it in the comments, if there's any fun manifestations in regards to how it's aspecting your own placements or the house in which Taurus rules in your chart. And I will try and get back to any questions as soon as I can. I'm still integrating into this new space in Toronto. It has been quite the adventure doing so while Mercury has been retrograde, while we've had the eclipses. But we did it. We're thriving. We're happy. And I'm wishing you all the best over the weekend as you integrate this conjunction. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.